Very serious.
The perfect night, love in the air as I placed your hand into mine, and hearts beating wildly, fueled by the feelings deep inside, and I was wasting my time. He was on your mind. You had a quick change of heart. So why didn't you tell me how you felt straight from the start? 'Cause now you're not here and slowly my
Hello, Sage. This is Cody. Or how? Wait a minute. Is my name Cody or Colby? I'm not really sure. So I will, there in fact, internally. Hang on a second. God damn it. I'm trying to. Wait a minute. I think your name might be Sully. I don't fucking know what your goddamn real name is. Alright, give me a call back. Wait a minute.
What? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. Please don't record this.
Too late. Too late. Too late. It's already been recorded. It's already been recorded and put out to the interwebs. Fan of the show, Cody. Doesn't really know, not really confused. Maybe maybe drinking a little bit. I don't know. I'm not gonna allegedly drinking a little bit. Hitting the sauce. Maybe committing fraud. I don't know. Big fan of the show. All right. I know I'm a little late, and today's not gonna be a real long show because I have to. Yesterday it snowed. Hang on. Let's just start. Let me hit the button.
Hey.
What?
You are not Kevin Costner.
Very true. I'm not Kevin Costner. This is Sage from Sage Outcast. And we are basically doing a show today. So normally I cover like geopolitics, logistics, trucking, business, overdimensional freight, and stuff like that. That'll be next week. We're starting off next week on Monday. So today is just a bonus show from last year. That's right. No charge, free of charge. You're getting a bonus show from last year. I see you spelled my name wrong. I bet you there's fraud going on over there, Bert. Must be fraud. Must be fraudulent payments to Bert over there for misspelling my name. But here's what we got going on. This is kind of just a bonus show. Next week, I'll be starting to do kind of more either trucking or brokerage or geopolitics or logistical type stuff and things like that. Talking about things like that. I know you can hang out, you can not hang out. We go from there. Okay, so yesterday I was off. Well, I wasn't off of work. I still worked, but yesterday I didn't do a show, and it snowed probably 3, 4, 5, probably 5 inches. Snowed about 5 inches over here, and it's currently. I'll tell you in a second. I don't want to lie to you. 2 degrees outside. It's currently 2 degrees outside, according to my high-end weather station. Actually, I do have a weather station. I'm kind of that guy. But I also need it does like wind speed and no weather station commercials. That's boring. So I could not. So I have a driveway that's probably I don't know half a football field. Probably 50-yard driveway. It's a long driveway, right? It's a long driveway. So, and it's uphill, right? It's an uphill driveway. It's stone. It's rough. I mean, you're not looking at my driveway and saying, I'd like to turn around in that driveway, or I'd like to drive up to that house with absolutely for no reason, just to, drop off something. So you normally have to look at my driveway and you say, there's got to be a reason for you to drive up my driveway because it's not built for cars. It's, small cars or low-end cars, cars at all. So I don't have a plow in the front of my truck. I don't have a truck right now. That's the other problem. Like right now, I don't even have a truck because my front end of my truck, the control arm is broke, and I'm not driving it so that I don't make it worse. But I have I basically have a tractor, right? Well, I mean, most people would I'd call it a tractor. But real farmers would not call it a tractor. It's like a baby tractor. It's like 24 horse. I mean, I got a bucket on the front end. I run a tiller on the back and a bush hog on the back. But it's one of those compact small tractors, right? So I normally plow my driveway with my tractor, okay? But since it was like 0 degrees or negative last night, my diesel tractor, wouldn't start. I couldn't get it to start. And my jump-off battery, because I have an extra battery that stays in the garage charging, I got a trickle charger, wasn't plugged in. So that sucks. So I went to go out there and try to jump the tractor with the battery, and that didn't go well. So I had to take the battery back in and put it back on the charger, and I'm charging the battery right now. So the moral of the story is I have to be able to plow my driveway. So I can't do a long show today. Because I got to be able to go back out there in 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour. That's probably how long it'd take to charge the battery up and basically try jumping the tractor again. But the sun's out, so that might help me warm up the tractor also because the tractor is in the sun, which thank God. Is that all boring story? Did you all get all of that information pretty much? Because if I don't plow my driveway, I might be arrested for fraud. Because I have received government money over the years of me running a business out of this location, and I have and basically, if I don't plow, it's evidence of fraud, and I might be arrested. Just saying. What are you talking about? Look, I had a conversation last night with a bunch of people in a Discord, not in my Discord, another Discord, that my statements in regards to the Nick Shirley video is propaganda. It's a propaganda video. It is not proper investigative journalism. It is not evidence of fraud. It is definitely not proof of fraud, but it's not even evidence of fraud. Okay, it's not. The fact that they wouldn't show anybody, they wouldn't let them in to see the kids, does not mean that, they don't have to show you the kids. They don't have to allow a group of 4 or 5 guys, some in ski masks, to walk up to the door and demand the door to be open. All daycares have their doors locked. That's mandatory because of school incidents. So the fact that that's not proof of fraud, okay? And here's where I'm going with this, right? The reason I'm saying this is now because of that video with no other evidence or proof, Donald Trump's administration is now shutting off all of the money that gives parents assistance for daycare in every state. You see I'm going with this? All right? Every state is now going to be shut down where they're not going to give this money out until they figure out what's going on with fraud. Because fraud's a big deal, and it's a problem. And they're going to now cancel everybody's money. Now, some people don't care, which I found that out last night. Some people just say, I don't care if they shut the money down to everybody. It doesn't open them up. Open the phone lines. All right, let me see something here. Where are my phone lines? Maybe I'll open the phone lines. Maybe I will open the phone lines for you. All right, let me open the phone lines. Phone lines are open. Phone line is open there. 347. Phone line is open there. Okay. So it is not evidence of fraud. Okay. There's not that. So now other legitimate people with legitimate parents, with legitimate jobs or that are legitimately going to school who need this assistance will not be getting it because we're shutting down all of the money, all of the federal funding to all of them. Because that's what Donald Trump says. Now, I don't know if he can, but that'll go to court. But if you run a daycare and you are taking these people, you have to make a decision. Do you continue to operate, hoping that you will eventually get paid? This is 347. Welcome to the Sage Outcast Show, last show of the year, bonus show. How can I directly indirect your call?
Yes, I believe we had a lovely conversation a few days before.
Oh, God.
Where you was going into intricate details how the tariffs was disastrous for the U.S. economy.
How tariffs were a disaster for the U.S. economy?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
What Trump is doing right now, raging the tariff war.
Yeah.
And I tried to explain myself in intricate details, but for whatever reason, there must have been some type of miscommunication.
Do you believe tariffs are good for the U.S. economy?
Well, you can't just slap it all across the board. You have to be very strategic about it.
Okay, but Donald Trump's not doing that. Donald Trump is slapping it all across the board. Do you believe Donald Trump's version of tariffs is good for the U.S. economy?
No, and what I just said, you can't slap it across the board.
Yeah, well,
you have to be strategic about it.
Okay, so what was our conversation? And what was the problem with our conversation?
And so you did, for whatever reason, you did make an assumption that I was trying to frame it as tariff is going to erupt a huge uptick in manufacturing. without me letting me explain myself that there's several other factors.
Well, hang on.
That,
You're saying that tariffs bring in manufacturing, correct?
No, sir.
Okay, then what? Then we're not arguing. I agree that tariffs don't bring in. I agree with you. Tariffs don't bring in manufacturing. We're on 100% agreement.
Yes, and in the previous to do was add several factors and how that can be the case. No, it might not.
How
be
what could be the case? How tariffs can bring in manufacturing?
With other factors included.
But it's not. Okay, stop. You can't say tariffs bring in manufacturing with other factors included, because tariffs don't. It's the other factors that bring in manufacturing, not the tariffs. Do you understand that?
So tariffs are a minor aspect to it.
Yeah, but that has no, because you don't need. You can bring in manufacturing without tariffs. It's the other factors that bring in manufacturing. Do you understand that? It's not the tariffs.
Yes, but
okay.
I'm talking.
Then we're in agreement, bro.
I'm sorry.
We're in agreement. We're in 100% agreement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, but my people already know that. They don't need to hear it from you because I've already been telling them this. There's nothing you're telling them that's anything new. Everything you're saying, I've already said. That's my stance. So all you're doing is repeating my stance, which I've already. I'm. Do you see what I'm saying? You're literally just repeating my stance on tariffs, which I already know my stance on tariffs.
Okay. Yeah.
That makes sense?
It was just at the last conversation, for whatever reason, you employed like recording tactics to make it seem like I was sounding extreme for whatever reason, like that's some type of flex, which I found pretty amusing.
Well, then why did you call back? Then why did you call back? If I did that to you, why would you call back? Is this a flex here for you to say, is this your flex? Are you looking to flex?
I'm not that sensitive, sir.
Well, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, there's no flex. If we both agree on this, there was no disagreement. So I wouldn't have flexed on you if we both disagreed. So you must have said something that I disagreed with. And either you don't remember what that was, which is fine, but
yes,
if we both agreed,
it was about.
Okay, what was it?
It was about starting up a business, and you said that poor people can start up a business.
Yes.
And then
yes.
I try to.
Hang on. Yes. Wait. Stop there.
How can you
Stop
be
there.
poor
Stop there. Stop.
Operating a business.
Stop there. Stop. We're gonna go one piece at a time here. Can a poor person start a business? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that was a true statement. What's your next statement?
Can a poor person start a business?
Yes.
And also pay employees?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. So what's your next statement?
So a poor person
yes.
with limited resources
yes.
can start a business
yes.
and use those limited resources
yes.
and pay their employees
yes.
and still
yes.
fulfill the basic necessities?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes. A poor person could do that.
Yes. Because you have to say, because you're using a blanket statement of poor. Okay? Now, my business might have got the business is not the person. If I start an LLC, that's an entity and it's a business. So my business might have got a small loan. That doesn't mean I'm rich. I might make no profits off that business for the first 3 years. Okay? Mm-hmm. So technically, I'm poor, right? But my business has the money to pay somebody, and we see this all the time in social media. You can be a poor person and you can pay $7 a video to have a video edited. A poor person can pay $7 I can send my video off to somebody in the Philippines, pay them $7 to edit a video, and then I can put that video out and I can make $10 off that video.
Now, that's amazing how a poor person can have a home and a business as well, having to pay utilities and labor cost. I just
explained it to you. Can you afford $7?
That's amazing.
I just explained it to you. You could be renting. You don't have. Wait.
thought
Wait. You don't have to be.
Go ahead.
Okay, so somebody, a poor person, would you say? So these are your blanket statements. When I was young, and I was when I was 18 years old, I was poor. Would you admit that? Could I be poor at 18 years old? Could I be poor at 18 years old? Me, myself.
Possible.
Okay, I could be poor, which I was, right? I was poor. Okay. I was poor when I started my business in logistics. Matter of fact, you must not know my story. My story is I had no money for like 4 months. No money. I was poor with a business. I was poor. And I had a business. And I then hired people to haul my freight. I was poor, employing other people to haul my freight.
Yeah, I didn't know banks give out loans to poor people.
Banks gave it. Again, you're not paying attention. You won't. You're limited in your view of understanding things. I had a factoring company that was backed by a bank. So when I had no money, I was no money. I was behind on all of my bills, everything. Sleeping on a mattress on the floor in a house that was worth $30,000 in the state of Tennessee with black mold in it. Poor, bro. I had a business. My business, an LLC, had basically got freight from customers and then hired truck drivers to haul the freight. I then hired truck drivers to haul the freight. When the truck drivers delivered, my factoring company, which was a bank, paid my truck driver and then collected the money from my customer. So I just gave you a scenario where a poor person can hire people and run a business.
That's
Goodbye.
amazing.
Off you go. I literally just gave you that scenario. This is what I'm talking about. When you make blanket statements, when I was broke, 2008, I lost my truck. I lost my pickup truck. We had one vehicle. I was behind on everything but my $300 mortgage. I had to go to the food store and put shit back because I couldn't afford, I didn't have the money to get everything that was in my cart. Right? I probably should have learned math sooner. Either way, doesn't matter. The cashier could do math. I had to put stuff back. I was poor. I had a business. I wasn't working for anyone. I had a business. That my business would go to customers and ask it to move their freight. And then I would hire a trucking company. That means the trucking company would work for my business and they were being paid by my business. Hang on, bro. I'm on a roll. Being paid by my business. And I had what was called a factoring company, which was backed by a bank. And the factoring company, I would turn the invoices into the factoring company, and the factoring company paid the trucking company while my factoring company took a percentage for waiting on the money. There is your example of how a poor person can run a business. So I just gave you an example. Now, you're going to go on and say, well, that's amazing. I don't understand. I mean, poor people don't hire people. Poor people don't do this. But I just literally gave you fucking facts from my own life that you can go ask around. See what a factoring company is. There are businesses out there that will check the credit of your customer and see if they pay their bills. And if they do, they will factor the money. So yes, I just gave you an example of a poor person able to own a business and hire other people to work for them. Okay? That's so, I love it how when he called in, he was like, oh, this was some weird flex over tariffs. No, it wasn't. Because I wouldn't have flexed, I wouldn't have argued with you over tariffs. So that was not the conversation. Well, we had a conversation in regards to tariffs, and then you kind of hung up on me because I didn't say this about tariffs. You see how we started with a lie? Do you see how we started with a lie? And I'm like, that I wouldn't have done that. What was the conversation we had that basically I told you you were wrong and you didn't like it? What was that conversation? Eventually we get to the business one. And if you would have listened, you 100% can start a business being poor. Being poor. Yes, you can start a business being poor. I don't know what to tell you. You can start a landscaping business being poor. Define poor. Poverty? I was way under poverty. Way under poverty. That's considered poor. You can start a business mowing lawns being poor. Well, yeah, but can you hire people? Yes. I can give you an example of how you can hire someone being poor. I did it. I did it. I literally just gave you how that happens. Right? Well, you did some weird flex. I did some weird flex because you were wrong. And I just proved you were wrong again. You see how I'm talking about in regards to some of these statements and some of this stuff? Does this make sense? Hang on, let me get rid of this one. Okay, that's better. Yeah, got it. Okay, that's better. Do you see how I'm trying to explain this? If you make a blanket statement and I can come to you and say, "No, let me explain." I give up. What was I saying? Oh. So I was having a conversation, and in regards to my conversation, I got to the point that Nick's video does not prove fraud. Nick Shirley's video does not prove fraud. It does not prove fraud. Actually, let me bring this over here, okay? Hang on 1 second. What did I do? Did I not do it? I thought I had this open. Did I not have this open? I'm all over the road. Okay, hang on. So his video, so they're literally now what they're doing is they're shutting down all of the money. Yeah, who was the person I was going to cover this? Keith Edwards. All of the money, they're shutting down all of the money for everybody in the daycare. Everybody in every state, all of the federal money is going to be now canceled because of Nick's video of alleged fraud when it doesn't prove fraud. It does not prove fraud. Like his video does not prove fraud. So I was having a conversation with a bunch of people yesterday. Got pretty heated, and to me, I don't really care, to be completely honest. If it gets heated, that's just who I am. I enjoy getting things getting heated. Hang on 1 second. Hang on. Because I want to actually do this video here directly from here. Let me click on this. All right, let me do this. Pause. I know that's what I'm doing. Okay, perfect. Stand by. So, it was 2 videos I want to play. And the other one I want to do is this video right here. We'll do this video right here. Okay. So, so basically, like I said, they went to these daycares. They didn't open the daycares. And then it's being debunked now. Now they're showing CCTV where basically some of these facilities are showing that people came in before Nick was there. And people came and left after Nick was gone. I mean, they literally proved that these facilities had children in them, but they just wouldn't open the door, right? So the employee saw on the camera 2 people in ski masks. Would you open the door? I'll be honest with you. If you walk up my house, 4 guys, four people, and 2 of them are big guys with their hands in front of their belts, like they're law enforcement officers, and they're in ski masks, I'm not opening the door. I'm not opening the door. It's not going to happen. And if I had a business like that, I would tell my business, don't open the door. Don't open the door for anybody in a ski mask. I'm not really I'm from Buffalo, New York, right? So, and this is another thing too. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I went to Buffalo public schools. I went to school in a pretty bad neighborhood, lots of crime. Definitely not a good neighborhood. Guy waiting for the bus after school got his eye knocked out of his socket by a 40 bottle. Like, definitely not a good neighborhood in anywhere. Tons of freaking crime. Bad neighborhood. Seneca Vocational High School, East Delavan Street, Buffalo, New York. You can look it up. So I definitely went through my life as a smaller guy, 5'8", basically, and a hockey player. You see what I'm saying? I played hockey, and so that Buffalo Public Schools wasn't known for their hockey skills. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't. They didn't. You go to prep school or you go to Catholic schools for hockey type stuff. That's where my brother went. Anyways, so I survived being able to also, read situations and assess situations and make sure that I didn't, put myself in a bad situation. Right? Doesn't matter. So I get the fact that some people can read a situation and say, I'm going to look at these daycare centers and I'm going to look at them and I'm going to say, there's probably some fraud going on there. But the problem is that Nick Shirley's video, nor did it prove fraud. It was a propaganda video. It was a hit piece propaganda video that made a lot of people get in their feelings rather than into the facts. Because there were no facts shown. None at all. There was a bunch of numbers that the guy said that this daycare got $1.6 million. He didn't verify where he got those numbers from. He didn't verify how they got those numbers. He mentioned the CPAC thing. He didn't talk about it any more than CPAC is government money. He didn't do any of that in any way, shape, or form. He basically just said, hey, we're going to go there. I don't see any kids. So I'm going to say this. That's where I was going with this. If you own a business, I want to put this out as a public service announcement. Public service announcement here, okay? If you live someplace that two guys show up in sweatshirts, no jackets. It's not like right here it's 1 degree. Like right now I might be wearing a ski mask when I go outside because it's 1 degree outside, okay? But if two guys show up and they're in just a sweatshirt, no hat, no hood, no gloves, nothing, just a sweatshirt, and the other guy's in a vest, no hat, and like a button-up shirt, and then there's two other guys that are legitimately looking like they're ready to walk Mount Everest. They got ski masks on. They got these huge, heavy, bulky coats on. Okay? You can't see their face. And they all get out of a vehicle right in front of your building, and they start demanding you open the door. Don't open the door. Now, I didn't think I'd have to say that to the public. But I'm going to say, don't open the door. Call the cops. Just call the cops. Dial the number, baby. Dial the emergency line and say, I have 4 people out in front of my business. 2 of them are in regular clothes, and 2 of them are in full ski masks with big jackets that might be wearing body armor. I need assistance now. Call the cops. Like, you're afraid there's going to be an unaliving event at that location. So if any of you other people are going out there to do citizen journalists and you're showing up unannounced with people with security teams that look like they're going to rob the joint, I'm telling you right now, call the cops on them. Call the cops on them. Call the cops and say, you know what? I think they're here to hurt me and the children. I think they're here. Because if Nick can walk up and say, well, I'm here to bring my son Joey. I want to sign my son Joey up for daycare, who has no son Joey, who has no child with him, and he gets out of the vehicle with people that look like that are in ski masks. Call the cops and tell them you believe there are people there with possible unaliving weapons, and they're trying to get in the building. Let's see how fast the cops show up. Because that's what I would be doing to these citizen journalists if you're showing up like that. That's what I want everybody going forward to do in this situation. Call the cops and tell them exactly what you're looking at out your camera, that they're demanding to come in, they're demanding to see the children, and they're trying to get in the building. and tell them exactly what is on your camera. Matter of fact, send them a screenshot of what you're looking at. Please do that. Because I'm telling you right now, it would be better to be safe than sorry. To be completely honest, at this point. It would be better to have the cops show up and find out what the hell is going on than to be wrong about it. Okay? That's what I want you to do going forward. Just take a look at what you're looking at that camera. Got these two white guys. They're just wearing sweatshirts. They don't look like they're cold. These other guys look like they're homesick Eskimos. Okay? They look like they're homesick Eskimos. And they've got their hands in front of their belts like anybody that would normally be carrying a firearm, right? To be able to protect that front hand and grab that weapon. Their clothes are so bulky, they might be wearing body armor underneath that stuff, and I can't see their faces. And they're demanding to get in and see the kids. Call the cops. And you're not lying. Just tell them exactly what you're looking at. And my game wardens, we have game wardens up here, right? It's easier for me to get a hold of a game warden. I can text. I had somebody show up. We feed a bunch of people up here. And we feed a bunch of deer, not people, I'm sorry. We feed a bunch of deer, and we feed the turkey, and we feed all the animals, right? There are times that it is so bad that I feel like I'm being surrounded, like we're being attacked by turkeys. Because they circle the house, waiting for their feed. So there are times I have like 30 deer and 50 turkeys on my property. You can see them from the road, right down from the road, because I'm up here on a hill, so you can easily see them. So I have had people drive up my driveway and want to hunt on my property. And I'm like, yeah, we don't allow hunting, bro. This is like a zoo. Like, you can't hunt in a zoo. Like, no, you're not going to hunt on my property. So we turn those people away. I have had some people then, when I said, no, you can't hunt here, start taking pictures of my property. I mean, first he's taking pictures of the turkeys, and then he starts taking pictures of my house. I'm like, bro, get the fuck off my property. Go away. Get out of here. So when he came to the door, my game warden is like, hey, send us who was it? I'm like, I don't know who it was. He just, I have the plate and I have the truck. And he's like, do you have the evidence of them walking up to your door? I'm like, I do. And then I said, I can send a screenshot of what my cameras see to my local game warden, which is technically, he's a federal law enforcement officer because after 5 years, up here in Maine, you become a federal law enforcement officer. So he can arrest you, right? He can arrest you. So if you are literally at a daycare or any type of business and you have an outward-facing camera and you see what Nick showed up with, 2 normal guys dressed in normal clothes and then 2 other guys in ski masks, heavy jackets like homesick Eskimos, screenshot that shit and call the cops and say, this is what's at my front door. I fear for my life. Any cop that's going to look at that is going to say, oh, shit, send cars over there. Send cars. There are literally 2 dudes all dressed out. And you want to know how I know this? When the cops showed up at the daycare, they made the guys in ski masks remove their ski masks. Now, Nick didn't show that, but when you see him down the hall, the guys that had the masks pulled down. So most likely the cops said, take your mask down. Take your mask down. Most likely the cops did that. Because it wasn't until the cops that did that happened. Okay? Okay. Where was I going with this? Oh, I remember where I was going with this. Now, so I had a conversation with a bunch of people. And when I knew I went in there, I knew it was going to be a good conversation. And I didn't want to have this conversation. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it in there. Because I basically... I couldn't, if we were going to do this conversation, I was going to do it over a live video where I could start the video, stop the video, start the video, stop the video, and so on and so on and so on and so on. But it didn't go that way. And when the individuals basically told me that I had to get the wool from in front of my face away, I have to lift the wool from in front of my face, I'm not doing proper research, or I'm not, I don't know what I'm talking about, or because I live in the woods, I don't understand, or I have Trump derangement syndrome. That's why I can't see this stuff. I basically just said, okay, we're going to do it, I guess. So I had this conversation, right? So, hang on. I know. I don't have the phones on right now, but she's going to have to deal with me venting. All right. So, I know that the Nick video did not in any way, shape, or form show any evidence of fraud. Any proof of fraud. And there's a difference between proof and evidence, right? There's not even any evidence of fraud. Okay? They just they said, hey, here's a bunch of, numbers. Hang on. I don't know when Bigfoot hunting season is going to drop. That's a great question. But I'll tell you what, I'm always on the hunt, looking for Bigfoot. I love Bigfoot. I love the stories of Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see a Bigfoot sometime. I haven't even seen a moose yet. Listen, I live in Maine, in the woods, and I haven't seen a moose. So if the fact that I've been here 12 years and haven't seen, now I've seen a moose, but not here, right? Not here. There are meese down the road. I think that's the term. Either way. Anyways, they're down the road, but I haven't seen one here yet. So if I haven't seen a moose in Maine yet, how are you guys, you see how hard it would be to find a Bigfoot? All right, let's move on. Okay, so I went in the conversation, and I basically said the video that Nick made. Now, do I believe there's fraud? Yes, there is fraud in this. There is fraud in there, 100%. Matter of fact, there was convictions of fraud, since investigations since like 2021 and 2022 in fraud. Right? There's a bunch of these convictions of in fraud. Okay? Yes, 100%. It's being investigated. What I can't do is look at a building, or what no one can technically do, to be completely honest, is look at a building and say there's fraud there, because that's all Nick did. Nick went to a building and said there's fraud here. You guys got this much money. So my first statement is, where did you get that? Can you prove that I got that much money? Well, no, but I have it on this website that you got this much money. Well, you can't even prove I got that money, right? Well, no. Well, you're an investigative journalist, and you can't even prove that I got that money. No. Okay, perfect. Let's move on. So then the next thing is, there is fraud here because you're getting money and there's no kids. Show me the kids. Well, I don't have to show you the kids. I don't have to show you anything. Like I said, I don't even know who you are, to be honest. If you think there's fraud, file a complaint. So because they wouldn't let him in, because again, they showed up with two dudes in sweatshirts and a button shirt, and two homesick Eskimos. Kind of weird. Now, you go in there, right? I mean, literally, like I said, they're fully covered. So maybe the homesick Eskimo thing won't work. I might have that backwards. We'll get back to that. Either way. And they didn't open the door for these two guys in ski masks and full black things that have so much jackets on, they look like they have body armor on. And they wouldn't open the door for them. And Nick was mad about that. Bro, I ain't opening the door for you. Matter of fact, like I said, call the cops. If any of you are at businesses, call the cops. Immediately, and tell them there are people here demanding to see children, and I believe two of them might have unaliving events. They look like they're wearing body armor. Tell them that. Tell the cops that, and let them handle it. Let them roll up, and let them figure it out. Because you have your right to do that. It's your right to do that. I would. I mean, I guarantee you they had body armor. I guarantee you they had not like hardcore body armor, but I guarantee you they had soft body armor on. I guarantee it. Anyways, or they had 17 layers of jackets. Anyways, so when I'm having this conversation with these people in the Discord, with a bunch of the people in the Discord, I basically said, show me the evidence, show me the proof or the evidence that Nick basically said that makes these facilities fraudulent. Like they're fraud, because that's a crime. That's a crime. Fraud, okay? You can go to jail for it. Matter of fact, other people have gone to jail for it. It's a crime. So the first answer was they misspelled the word learning. Wait, what? They misspelled the word learning. That's evidence of fraud. Bro, I don't know if you guys know me here. Some of you know me, some of you don't. Okay? There are times I literally can't pronounce words properly. I have a pronunciation producer. Yeah. I have some of the worst spelling you've ever seen. I have something called dysgraphia, right? So I have a problem spelling. So if spelling was evidence of fraud, I would be locked up a long time ago. They would have had to lock me up and throw away the key, literally. Matter of fact, I might end up in Guantanamo Bay. I'm such a bad speller. Okay? I'm just being honest with you. Okay? I mean, there are drunk people who can probably spell better than me at a full weekend bender sometimes. I have a spelling bee against Sage, and I won. I won. Yeah, I did. I sure did. Yeah. I mean, that's how bad it is, okay? Misspelling the sign might show that it is not a good daycare. It is not a top-notch daycare. It is a bad business daycare. Like, I wouldn't send because they asked me, would you send your kids there? I'm like, well, no. Well, why? Well, I wouldn't send my kids there because I pulled up their inspection report, which is public information, and I can see how many bad inspections they have gotten or how many things that they've been written up for. So the same way I pick trucks, the same way I decide if I'm going to choose a carrier to haul my freight, I look at the safety ratings. With a carrier, you look at the safety ratings. So I wouldn't send my son or my daughter there because the safety ratings or the percentage, I basically said I wouldn't know. But that's not because of fraud. That doesn't make them fraudulent. It makes them not eligible for me to use their services because of other reasons that I deem important. Like some other people might say, they might have said, yeah, somebody spelled the sign and we put it up and we have another sign coming, or we're going to fix it later. And we haven't changed it yet because it doesn't affect the business inside. The spelling on that outside doesn't affect the business inside. Okay, you know what I mean? Or you could be a parent that you're like, okay, they can't spell the word learning. I'm not sending my kid here. You have that right. Okay. So the answer was no, I'm not sending my kid here. But not spelling a word doesn't mean it's fraud. Doesn't mean that you're committing fraudulent activities. It doesn't mean that. Not even if you're getting government money. Because the government has paid me and I still can't spell. So, I don't know what to tell you. Government's paid me, still can't spell. I have never been convicted of fraud. Next thing you know, cops might be kicking my door. Well, the cops can't come kicking my door because they can't get up my driveway because I haven't plowed. But then the fact that I haven't plowed is also another reason that it's fraud. All right, now we've moved past the spelling one. So I said, well, that's not fraud. That's not fraud. Yeah, but the doors weren't open. But the doors can't be open. It's a school. Like the doors have to be locked. Well, the phone doesn't work. Well, yeah, but if you call that phone number that you're using as the business phone number, there are times I don't answer my business phone number because my business phone number is different than my direct phone number. Like you might be calling my business phone number and I might send it to voicemail because if you need me, you have my cell phone and you're going to call my cell phone number. So the business phone number, if you're calling from Texas and you're in Minnesota, you might not answer that phone call. You'll let that go to voicemail and then you'll check the voicemail. All right, phone's ringing. Who is this? I don't know. Let's let it go to voicemail. Could be spam. Could be something else. Could be whatever. All right, as soon as it's over, check the voicemail. So I do that. That's not, again, that is not evidence of fraud, okay? It got to the point that somebody said that because the parking lot was not plowed, that was evidence of fraud. I want to repeat that. Because the parking lot was not plowed, that was evidence of fraud. So I'm fucked. I run a business here. I can't plow my driveway because my tractor's broke. And I don't know, up here, there are times where I'll call people to plow my driveway, and I've had people that were supposed to plow my driveway not even show up. That's how bad it is up here sometimes. So I can't plow my own driveway, so I guess I can be arrested for fraud. I guess the cops are coming. And they're going to kick in my door. Because I'm going to be charged with fraud. I can't plow my driveway. I'm fucked. Actually, I do have to plow because I got packages coming. Once I get to the point that I'm having a conversation with somebody and I ask them to say, when I say with Nick's video, can you give me evidence of fraud? And your response is the driveway's not plowed, or the parking lot. I'm thinking of my own house here. The parking lot is not plowed, and that's your response to evidence of fraud. I don't know where to go. I literally don't know where to go. I don't know how to continue on with the conversation. But because I'm sage, you guys know me, I will continue on with that conversation, even though I should have stopped right there. And I know I should have stopped right there. And this little angel, well, maybe not the angel, this little partial devil on my shoulder said, stop right there. Let it go. Just walk away. And then the stronger devil on this other shoulder said, don't walk away. Go with it. Go with it, Sage. Keep going with it, baby. And of course, you guys probably know who I listen to. It was not the good devil. It was the bad devil. It got to the point that basically just because you say there's fraud, that means there's fraud. There's fraud. Here's the other thing I don't think I'm a little confused about. And I talked to my people a little bit about it. And I understand there are some people that can look at a situation and say, that's a bad situation. I can just tell. That's a bad situation. I'm not going to go over there. I'm not going to put myself into that because that's a bad situation. I have that also. I have that magical power also from growing up in Buffalo, New York for 30 years. Okay? So I understand that, but those are feelings. It doesn't matter if you have it through experience and years of experience. Those aren't facts. Like if you look at a situation and you say that's a bad situation over there, I can just tell that's a bad situation. That's a feeling. That's not a fact. Okay? A fact is actual provable evidence. Provable evidence. Like when somebody says to me, and they said this to me, who is the worst people that commit fraud? Well, the answer is not Somalian people. Because the true numbers would say probably white people, right? Because there's a majority of white people. There's been a majority, you know what I'm saying? Most likely, the people that commit the most fraud in the United States is probably white people. If you were to look it up, I bet you the numbers would show the facts. The actual facts and data would show white people. But if I were to say, well, white people, because the data shows white people, technically, if your answer is no, those aren't real facts. Real facts are Somalian people because I'm from this neighborhood or from a neighborhood. Well, that's not facts. Those are feelings. Right? Like I understand, and so when I say, look, if you're basing your information on your life and your situation and the fact that you can read situations better than other people, those are based on your feelings. Now, I don't mean feelings as in getting in your feelings. I mean, there's no actual factual evidence. There's no proof. Like if I were to walk up to you and say, you look at a bunch of people and you can tell which ones are criminals and which ones aren't, that's based on your feeling. Because I can bring 5 people into a room and say which one's the criminal, and you might figure it out or you might not figure it out. But until I show you the actual criminal record, the actual record of the person, me showing you the actual record of the person is a fact. There's the fact. Here's the proof. Here's the evidence. Here's the proof. Here's his conviction. This is the actual proof. Now, you might be able to have been able to pick that person based on your feelings, based on your ingenuity, or based on your critical thinking, but those are feelings. The actual fact is the criminal record. Because what happens if you pick wrong? It's not a fact, is it? It's not a fact. Because if I say, nope, sorry, you're wrong, that's not the actual criminal. That person's an undercover cop. This person is the criminal. That would be the facts. And here's why this person's the criminal. 1, this person says, yep, I'm the criminal. 2, the other one says, here's my proof, here's my conviction, here's the trial, here's the court case, here's all this other stuff. Right? But I went on for hours because I enjoy punishment. Even though I should have stopped when somebody said, evidence of fraud is the fact that they don't plow the parking lot. Should have stopped. Anyways, let me play this video right here, and I can probably turn the phones back on. Now that I'm done rocking. Well, who called me? All right, the phones are on. I'm going to play this video, though.
It was kind of a vacation, but I kind of worked the whole time. But regardless, if you're new here, because I did gain a bunch of subscribers over that vacation break, this is what it normally looks like. This is normally where we hang out. So please do get comfortable. Welcome. What we're talking about today is this piece of shit. His name is Nick Shirley, and he's gone viral in the worst way possible because he has uncovered fraud. Some
Rep Lisa
Somali immigrants committing fraud in Minneapolis.
Now remember, it's so bad that what Nick has done is now forcing legitimate people and legitimate businesses with no evidence and no proof to lose their finances for child support. Because Trump is shutting it off for everybody.
And the video that he has posted has gotten over 130 million views on Twitter or X, whatever we call it now. And I don't know how many of those are real views because...
Now that's possible. And it's possible if like people... It depends, like, if you turn it on, if you stop the video, start the video, start the video, sometimes those are considered multiple views.
130 million people have seen this? Are you kidding me? Come on. I mean, can they at least pretend to lie? Like, maybe 30 million would be believable, but I don't know. You probably haven't even heard of this. And if you have...
So it's possible that he does have that.
Then how could it be 130 million people have watched it? Regardless, it has taken the media by storm. It's gotten more than 2.5 million views on YouTube. And the problem with this video, among a lot of things, is that it uncovers nothing. It's a big freaking lie.
Correct. It uncovers nothing.
The fraud that he thinks he's uncovered has actually been discovered years ago. Tim Walz,
yes, years ago.
And the Justice Department have already been investigating this, but here's a bit of what this gentleman was doing.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on?
I mean, they're just harassing people. Tim Walz responded to this and said, "We spent years cracking down on fraud, referring cases to law enforcement, shutting down and auditing high-risk programs. Trump keeps letting fraudsters out of prison. The national news just now paying attention. Here's what we've done to stop it." And he posted a long statement here.
So Walz responded saying, yes, we work on fraud. We send it over to law enforcement. Oh, hang on. Hang on.
Monty.
Thank you for calling the Stage Outcast Show. I have not plowed my driveway. Don't arrest me for fraud.
Oh, all right. Never mind.
Bye.
So
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Yes.
And I've been listening for all of 5 minutes, so I feel like I'm an expert in the matter.
Okay.
I
believe you.
I'm just kidding.
No, I know. I feel you for you. No, I know. I get the jokes. I'm with you.
So like I said, I have been watching you, and you're making you're making arguments that makes the argument sound preposterous, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a critically thinking guy. I've talked to you before.
Mm-hmm.
I know some of your history. You've explained it.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Not plowing the driveway, not plowing the parking lot. The phone not working for out of state calls. You're right. Every single one of those things by themselves would not be indicative of anything and does not prove anything. Circumstantial evidence is not evidence.
Mm-hmm.
However, in fact finding, Nick Shirley is not a law enforcement agent. Nick Shirley is not the FBI, the IRS.
No, correct.
The people that are signing off on these checks. Nick Shirley is none of those things.
Mm-hmm.
He is uncovering something that was brought to him by someone who had done, investigative research over the past, 2 years. That's, I think, is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a pattern of fishy behavior. No one is, leveling charges against anybody yet. Nick Shirley's not a cop. He didn't arrest anybody.
So is he
what that lady said, he's not ICE.
Is he an independent investigative journalist?
I wouldn't call him that,
but he calls himself that, right?
So that's the standard he should be held to.
Does he call himself that?
He says he's Nick Shirley with Nick Shirley. So
right, but he said he was just
basically.
Investigative journalism. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
I agree with you.
And he said he was independent, right? He did this independent?
Like production wise and spending the money to go and
no,
to go
independent
through it,
meaning not given information by the right or the left. That independent. He said independent meaning independent to any side, to any media, to any.
So independent journalists, I don't take that to mean like he's not right leaning or left leaning. I take that to mean he does not work for a he works for himself. He doesn't work for a news organization like CNN or Fox News.
Okay, if you're
he's an independent, like an independent contractor, yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll give it to you. Okay, but he was okay. I'm with you. So he uncovered what? What did he uncover?
So what he uncovered is, or he didn't uncover anything.
Oh, okay. Good. So
you actually said it.
Right.
He is bringing things to light that have already, they've already been investigated. Like our current investigations going on right now about this stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's bringing, the public's attention, your and my. We're talking about it right now.
So
otherwise we wouldn't be talking about it.
So he's bringing propaganda to say that people are doing something, that this is all happening. That was what we call a hit piece, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, that's okay. Absolutely. Yes. I would classify that as a hit piece.
Right. That was also information was given to him by the Republican member of the House of Minnesota, who is going to be running for governor. Did you know that?
Sure. I did not know that, but I believe it.
Okay. So
I'm not.
So when I say that he's brought this, so because of his hit piece, one basically hit piece with technically false information in it, fake information.
It's not false information. It hasn't been adjudicated. How can you say it's false?
Because I can show you a video from local news affiliate CBS in Minnesota that went to one of the facilities, and one of the facilities showed them CCTV of kids in the daycare.
The three people showing up in like what looked like the same car.
No, it wasn't the same car.
A couple hours after. I saw that video too.
Okay, so it wasn't the same. Okay, so wait a minute. Why is that? Wait. Why is Nick? So you're throwing that out? You're already dismissing that. Why?
Because it's a little convenient that no one has seen any activity up until
wait, hang on. Where are you getting?
We got tons of kids going here. Here's the cameras.
Where are you getting information that nobody has seen kids at any of these places?
Did you see the people actually in his video that he interviewed? Every surrounding business owner that shares lots.
How many people were in the video that said that they haven't seen anybody? How many?
I think there was about 4 or 5 people.
No, there wasn't 4 or 5. There was one, a restaurant owner.
No, there was one. The guy that has been putting this information together said he's gone by there 100 times.
Okay, so he's gone. Okay, so you go past a building 100 times. How long? Let's
Yeah.
see. This is what I'm talking about. I drive past a daycare every time I go to a grocery store down the road. I've never seen kids.
And are you looking for kids? Are you just driving past? Like, he is actively looking this out, looking for this information to see.
So he he didn't say that. No, he did not say that. He said every time I drive past, I don't see any kids. So how long does it take you to drive? Hang on. How long does it take you to drive past a building?
I mean, it takes it depends on how, do you stop and loiter or do you drive past?
Well, he said, I just gave you the answer. He said drive past. So drive past.
Right.
How long does it take you to drive past a building?
Okay, so here's where.
How long does it take you to drive past a building?
No.
How long does it take you to drive past a building?
It takes 30 seconds.
Okay, perfect.
If you drive
Perfect. Hang on,
past
I'm not done.
Now,
how many hours are there in a day?
There's 24 hours in a day.
Subtract 30 seconds from 24 hours in a day. 23 hours and 30 seconds. So he's missing 23 hours and 30 seconds of a day. And he's just taking 30 seconds of his day, and 30 seconds is long, just so you know, because it takes me way less than 30 seconds to drive past a building. And of course, it's hard to calculate that time for most people.
Right.
I'm going to give you 30 seconds. So he's taking 30 seconds of his day, and he's saying, no kids. And we're supposed to believe that.
Did he say that all of that? You're qualifying everything he said.
No.
Now, obviously, if I say I'm driving by if I'm driving by as a crazy ex-boyfriend, by my girlfriend's house, I'm not just, whizzing by. I'm stalking, I'm looking, I'm doing things. Now, words
he said,
in context
again,
mean something.
You are filling information he did not say. I'm basing on information he did say. He said, every time I drive past, which means he's moving, he's driving. The wheels are turning round and round on the retard bus of this dude. He's driving past, he never sees any kids. Is it possible that the kids are already in the building, yes or no?
Shouldn't there be cars in the parking lot and activity in the building? No, there's never. The lights are on. No one's home.
Wait a minute. Okay, let's answer your question again. Let's answer your question. Should there be cars in the parking lot? Maybe they park around back. Which one of them has parking in the back for the people that work there? Maybe they show up and they're dropped off because they only have one car. So let's say I work there.
Do you see how many qualifiers you have to put on this for this to make sense to you?
Because this is what investigations look like. This is the difference between what you're doing and what I would do. An investigation would not be, I drive past a building and I don't see any kids. So there must not be kids there. Do you see the leap that you're making compared to my leap?
No, because you're assuming that you're assuming the best of a person that is being accused of fraud just for the sake of assuming and taking a side.
No, I'm not accusing anything.
You're going to justify anything you're looking for.
Listen to me. I say that, okay, I'm a private investigator, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I drive past your house. You say you're home, and I drive past your house, and I don't see your car. You're not home. I just drive past.
Mm-hmm.
I go to your wife and I say, he must be cheating on you. His car wasn't at home. He's lying to you. Are you guilty? Are you guilty of cheating?
So if you did it based off of solely one piece of information, that would be called slander because you're literally, there's no way anybody could make that jump.
Which he did.
Because you need more information.
Again, the guy said, I drove past and didn't see any kids. He didn't say, I parked in the parking lot. I stayed there hang on.
So he also said that no one's ever in the back of these medical transport vehicles that happen to all be out of the 1,020, there's 800 that are Somali owned. He also said that he has gone on numerous occasions at different times of the day and not seen any activity.
Okay, hang on.
So,
let's
driving by is not all
right,
he
so
said.
I'm going to answer.
It's a 45-minute long video.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this. I'm going to answer two of your. You're making multiple statements, so now I got to respond to each of your statements.
Yeah.
So the Somalian vehicles. He's driving down the road. He sees somebody in a Somalian vehicle. Do you know how the non-emergency transportation system works in the state of Minnesota?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked that question. I happen to be a paramedic. I know exactly how a wheelchair van works.
Okay, so do you know how they're dispatched?
Do I know how they're dispatched?
Yes.
So it depends on what facility they're servicing. So if it's a hospital, they're not dispatched. They get
They are dispatched.
I guess it is dispatching.
They are dispatched. They are dispatched.
The hospital makes a call and they get a dispatch.
No.
And
Do you know how they're dispatched? Have you ever heard of the Smart Track system?
No, I've heard of Logis. I've heard of Samsara. I've heard of
So the systems in Minnesota, for you to be paid, you are paid based on your dispatch, which is, I'm going to explain it to everybody else. It's called, I'll have to look up what it's called. It's called Smart Load or Smart Track or something. It is an electronic log system that you get sent your dispatch to. The only way for you to be paid.
It's Logis with a different name.
Yeah, the only way for you to be paid is you're paid with that system.
Is that for freight hauling or is that for the non-emergency transport?
That's for non-emergency transport. You can look it up in Minnesota. You can look it up. For you to be paid, I looked it up yesterday. For you to be paid, you have to have been dispatched, and it's like having an Uber. The load would have had to go to the system, the Smart Track system, and the Smart Track system keeps track of where you picked up, where you delivered. Matter of fact, let's say I send it for my mom. I can actually see where the car is. I can log in and see where the car is. Okay, Mom, he'll be there in 3 minutes. I can see where the car is.
How is that system not defeated by people just creating false claims? That's the argument of the video. It's not that you can't track the vehicle.
No,
or
the argument of the video,
claims aren't being done.
No, the argument of the video is nobody checks on any of these. What he actually says, you need to see. Here's the problem between me and you.
Yes, nobody. There's no verification.
But there is verification.
They accept any affidavit that's sent in.
No, they don't. I just told you how they bill.
That was the argument of the video.
I just told you how they bill. Look it up. Look up how the system is billed.
I know how that's particular. That's what I did for the last 5 years of my career while I was an EMT. When we're low, I do non-emergency transports. My ambulance companies, all three of them that I've worked for, do the same thing.
Okay, so that's how. Okay, so then we both agree that's how they're paid.
That system.
So we both agree that they do check that system. That was a lie.
No, they don't check. No. That's what I'm saying. You didn't let me get to that point. They do not check that system because it's not a Medicare reimbursed system. It's usually run by the state because Medicare actually doesn't pay for it. In fact, we can't transport Medicare patients with that money. So what happens is a state agency
non-emergency transport assistance.
What's that?
The system in Minnesota has what's called load track. And it literally says the only way you are paid is by the load track system. Do you understand that? You can look it up. I looked it up. I had it yesterday. Yes. I don't know how to make this any simpler for you.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now. It's called. I'll have to find my bookmark from yesterday. I'm literally telling you how it works. So let me go to my history. Let me show my full history. Let me log into yesterday's stuff, because what I'm trying to tell you is it literally says if you want to be paid, here is how you are paid based on the load track system.
And an app can never be fouled, right?
Well, yes. I mean, technically, governments can be hacked. So no, if you want to make a blanket statement.
What does that have to do with the price in tea in China in the broader argument of what he was saying?
Because you just said an app can never be hacked. What he said was
an app can never be fouled, or you can never exploit a system for personal gain. Fraud doesn't exist.
Nobody's saying there's no. What I'm saying is he says that you just said nobody ever checks them. Is that
Yeah,
true?
because they
Okay,
probably
is
rely
that true
on
or
an
false?
app that they have found an
Is
exploit
that
to.
statement
That could
true?
be an explanation.
Is that statement true or false? I'm just going to have to keep asking you the same question over and over again. Your statement was, no one ever checks it. If I tell you that they use a load track system, is your statement still true?
If they use a load track system, who's verifying the data? That's what I'm talking about.
The government is verifying. Then let me ask you a question. This is fucking retarded. Quick question.
How?
You're not.
No.
You're not.
No. I have a question for you.
No.
If it can't be fouled.
No.
How has it happened already if it can't be fouled?
If I'm not saying, pay attention to what I said. Anything could be fouled. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Stop. So, if somebody says no one is checking that they did this, and I say yes, they are through a load track system, is your statement still true? Yes or no? Answer quick, because if you don't answer this correctly,
a computer is not a person. A computer is not a person, so my statement is still true.
I'm not gonna. If you can't even admit that when somebody says no one is checking this, somebody is checking it because you are submitting your invoice through the load track system. So somebody is checking it because somebody's cutting you a check. Somebody's checking to see how many loads you did or how many people you've picked up. I am not going to have a conversation with you if you can't even admit that. You can't even admit that. If I get you to a point that I literally back you into a corner, because I'll say, yes. Why? If you can't do what I do and at least admit that if you ask me a question and you say, well, can any load be hacked? Well, yes, any load can be hacked. I agree with that. Yes. If you won't do that on a conversation with me, I'm hanging up. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going back and forth with people who won't respond to the question that I'm asking. I'm just not doing it anymore. It's useless conversations, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Oh, what was I saying now? Oh, yeah. So when he said, I drive by. Oh, is this him again?
Annie.
Are you there? Bro, if you won't answer the question, if you want to keep pivoting, I'm hanging up on you again. I'm not doing it. I'm not going back. I'm not having conversations where you won't answer yes or no questions. Do you understand?
I'm not the previous caller.
Oh, sorry. Well, you look a lot like the previous caller.
But yeah, I'll answer I'll answer any question you got, bro.
Okay, what you got? Go ahead. What you got? I'm sorry.
No. I'm calling you to talk about this. I think you're being a little disingenuous, though.
Okay, fair. That's fair. Go ahead.
You're granted. Yeah, let's try to lay this out a little bit, right? Okay. Number one.
Yeah.
Nick Shirley is not an independent journalist. Okay, let's just lay that out.
I agree with that. He
might have been. He may have been.
But he says he is.
He was disqualified from that moniker the second that he went for the meeting at the White House, and now got a story that got 700 million views on X.
Okay, we're on the same page with that. I'm not arguing that at all.
What's that?
We're on the same page with that. That's fair. But we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm laying out exactly where we're on the same page so that we can divert from that. All right?
That's fair. Okay, I'm with you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Number two.
Yeah.
We can both agree that there is 100% probability that there is fraud in Minnesota when it comes to the child care, whatever businesses he was knocking on. There was 100% some kind of fraud in that business when it comes to the funds that came from the government. Correct?
Yes, there's fraud. 100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, 3.
Yeah.
The fact that he went to these businesses and didn't see anybody is not an indicator that they don't run a business there. We can all agree on that too.
Yes.
Now, where I think you're being disingenuous is obviously this was set up, right? This story was placed on Nick Shirley's lap, and he went out there to chase it down. That gentleman that he was driving around with clearly has done months, if not years, of research on this story.
Who has? Who?
Look, I'm reaching on that. But if I was going to set up a story, that's how you would do it. You would send him to a place and introduce him to a person that had the information that he needed in order to garner 700 million views. So I have no doubt that this guy has done his research.
Who? David?
I'm sorry, the gentleman that he was riding around with.
Okay, his name is David. Okay, his name's David. So we're going to go with David. Okay, okay, go ahead. Now, that he's done his research, I disagree.
Why?
Because his research isn't, I drove past, research is not, I drove past and I did not see kids. That's not research.
I mean, how do you know that?
Researched that daycare. I drove past yesterday and I sat, when I ran through the red light and I didn't see any kids there. That's not research.
Okay. So you think, I mean, I know you're a smart guy. There's no way that you think that that's where his research stopped.
That's what that's literally what he said. I'm not going to base my research on any more than what he said. Here's the problem. You are filling in blanks for things he did not say. If he would have said, here's how I did research. I went to this facility. I looked up how much money they had. I then went to the Secretary of State. I pulled up their LLC filing. I found out other countries that were all under these names. I then went and took a day off of work, and I sat in the parking lot across the street while eating Burger King and drinking down latte coffees. And I sat there for a whole day, and nobody came in and out over a 6-hour period at this facility on one of the days that they were open. That would be research, right?
Well, I'll give you some information.
No, hang on. Hang on. He never said any of that. All he said was, I drive past these buildings all the time because I work in this area, and I don't see kids. Okay. That's not research.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And you know what? Maybe for the short clip, they couldn't. You know what? How about this? I'll grant you that. Okay. How about all this guy ever did was drive by these places? Well, guess what? How investigative journalism works now, as you well know, is a guy like Nick Shirley or a guy like you, a guy with a platform, brings a subject to his platform, and then the people, for the first time in history, this is we get to do this. Brings the subject up to the forefront, and people, the general public now, I guarantee you, there will be more information about Minnesota and this Somali and this fraud that he reported on than anyone could ever digest.
No, that's not investigative journalism. That's sensationalism for views.
And guess what? I am not arguing with you.
Okay.
I am not arguing with you that it's propaganda. And you know what? I 100% guarantee the same kind of fraud is going on in states with red governors and all that. No one's arguing that. We're way past that as a society. What I'm arguing is this.
We're not, and I'm going to show we're not. But we're not. Amazingly, we're not. And I'm going to literally show a video showing we're not, which is scary.
We're not what? We're not what?
We're not past. We're not past the fact. We are literally not past the fact that some side could say that there's no corruption on the right and only corruption on the left. There are people that believe that there are no corruption on the right and only corruption on the left. So we're not past.
No, I'm talking about people that have an IQ of over 11. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to play a video.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the video is going to prove that, and guess what? There's going to be the Nick Shirley from the left. He's going to pop up and show the fraud that's coming from. No one's saying that.
Okay, so again,
the real question is,
so what do you believe I'm being disingenuous about?
I think that you're nitpicking this in holes in this story that don't necessarily have to be picked at.
Can you give me an example of one? Okay, and I want to give you an example on why this story should be nitpicked. Okay, right now, based on this story, Donald Trump is shutting down all funding for all states federally to assist people. Do you think that's a problem? Are you okay with that?
No.
Okay, so don't you think that maybe somebody should nitpick this story because right now it's hurting legitimate businesses and legitimate parents?
I do.
Okay.
But I also do. But I also do think that just like everything else that this guy does,
yeah,
it will be locked off at the head in whatever court that it pops up in immediately, right? So whatever superior court, you can eat it. Yes. Whatever it pops up in, it's going to be locked off, and the money's going to go back, just like it did in every in every avenue.
Are you receiving? Do you receive any government funding? Because I hear kids, and I want to make sure that you're not receiving any government funding. Are you? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I'll tell you.
No. So no. But what is my disingenuous part? The fact that I'm picking apart a lie that another. So should I not be picking this apart in your mind? Should I just be letting this go?
It's not that it shouldn't be picked apart.
Yeah.
The part that I think is disingenuous is because if the argument is that we don't have enough information to label this fraud from the whatever you want to call it, from that piece.
Yeah.
Then the same goes for the other side. You can't say it's not fraud either.
Yeah, I can.
You can't put that label on it either.
Yeah, so I can say that, and I'm not. What I'm saying is that the reason there are three waves to information. There's the first wave, which goes viral. The second wave, which is fighting the first wave that goes viral. And then the third wave, which is boring as shit. Welcome to my show. Hi, Sage Outcast, third wave. So I didn't cover this story specifically right away because I wanted to see more about it, okay? Denzel Washington said, It's not about being right, it's about being first. I don't want to be first. I want to be right. So now that people are debunking what he is literally saying, proving that there were kids at these facilities, that might not have been the amount of kids that you wanted to see, but there were kids at these facilities, I now came out and started to show that the video he put out was not only propaganda, but it was lies. He lied. There were kids there.
All right, fair enough. Can I make a request of you?
Yeah, you can.
Because you have you're a subject matter expert, I'd like to make a request of you.
Sure. Okay?
And I think we should all do this, regardless of what side of the aisle. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Because at this point, we're everybody is punching them. I think that aisle that everybody talks about is destroyed. So what I would ask of you would be this. The first wave, second wave, third wave, they're banking on those waves of information because that, like you said, that's how propaganda works, right? And they are covering something up. This is a distraction of something else that's going on. And because of how much you know about logistics, I would ask this question. What is going on in Somaliland? Okay.
Somaliland.
Well, this new, there's a new country that popped up. Israel made this Somaliland country out of nowhere.
Okay.
At a shipping port. Okay.
Wait, Somaliland at a shipping port? I don't understand. Somaliland at a shipping port? What are you talking about?
Yeah, so Somalia, a piece of Somalia, and excuse me because I'm a little bit ignorant on this, and I'm not very smart. So
I'm not holding you to it. I don't understand. I'm not being a jerk about this. I don't understand. Yeah.
No, I know you're not. No, you're being very nice, and I would really like for you to pick this apart because I saw a bit of information, and I bet you could get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
Somalia.
Oh, in Somalia, the country of actual Somalia.
Yeah,
okay.
Somalia. So Somalia, correct me if I'm wrong. Somalia is on the western coast of the continent of Africa, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay. So, Somalia just yesterday or the day before. Israel just identified Somalia as basically, you know how Israel and Palestine are the two-state solution? So from Somalia, a faction of Somalia called Somaliland, okay, I'm not kidding. I know it sounds like
No, I understand. Okay, yeah. I'm with you now. I didn't know what you meant before, but since we were actually talking about Africa, I'm with you now. Okay, go ahead. I'm with you now. Yeah.
Yeah, so a piece of Somalia broke apart, and they're calling this Somaliland. All right.
Yeah, but I have no problem covering this. This is what I'll be covering. I'll be covering more of this stuff next week because I'm going more towards geopolitics and stuff like that. What I'm just covering now, this is like a bonus show from last year.
Hey, Exactly, and that's another thing. This has been going on for years. Everybody knows that there's fraud in Minnesota. Everybody knows.
Yes.
It just so happens, and it just so happens that the information was brought to everyone on the planet by Nick Shirley.
So, which I understand. I want to make sure. I want to make sure because I want to end this call and the fact that the only thing you believed I was disingenuous about was picking apart the video too much.
No. It's your framing of the story in general.
How am I framing it though? What's my framing?
Because guess what? If that story was dropped on your desk, you would have done the exact same thing as Nick Shirley.
No, I wouldn't have. Not in any. And I proved that because I didn't cover the story until more information came out. I would never have covered this story like this. No. Nope.
Guess what? How do you know what information he has?
Because I would have taken the information, if this information was put out, my first question, you want to how I would have done this? All right, this is going to be a long one. Actually, let me hang up on here, and I'm going to go over how I've done this, because I do appreciate the call-in. All right, I appreciate it. All right, so the first thing that I would have done if this information was given to me, I would have reached out to the David and said, okay, what information do you have? How did you obtain this information? My first interrogation would have been David, because I have to establish that he is legit. I have to establish that the information he had, he's bringing this information to me. I now have to validate his story, and I have to justify that his story and what he's giving me is legit, and he's not setting me up for a lawsuit when I slander somebody, okay? So I would have said, okay, where are you getting this information from? Well, I'm getting it from this people, these people. Okay, send me that. Did they email to you? Yes. Okay, are you willing to tell me who emailed it to you? No. Okay, fine. Can you do me a favor and just black out the person who sent it to you and show it to me that it was actually sent to you in an email? Sure. Okay. Now, where is this? Where are they pulling this information from? Where are they pulling this data from? Where are they getting this numbers from? Tell me how they're paid this money. What system are they using to pay this money? What government agency is paying this money? Okay, we got all that. Now I got all the numbers. Now, how do you know there's no kids there? Well, I drove by. You drive by how? How do you drive by? Do you drive by on your way to work? Do you drive by on your way to a job site? Are you drive-bying and stopping for hours? Like, how are you just driving by? Because you just used the term drive-by. And maybe it's me with my law enforcement background that would question it this way. But to me, it's like I have to establish that the person giving me this information is not sending me on a wild goose chase that I end up following down a QAnon road, and next thing you know. Then I would have said, okay, how are you getting this? Well, I just drive by. Well, show me your route. What time of the day? What time did you drive by? Can you show me a log of what time you drove by? How long you were there? Do you have any type of log or any type of information verifying that there's no kids there? No. Okay, how do you know that they're not taking kids in the back door? Is there a back door to this business? Is there a front door to this business? You know, and then I would have pulled them up on Google Earth, and I would have looked at the business and seen if there was a back door, if there's a front door, what neighborhood they're in, and things like that. Are there cars in the parking lot from Google Earth? Like I would have looked at all this. Then I would have probably said, okay, I'm going to try making some phone calls and see if I can get any phone calls. Then I would have went and pulled up the the public information in regards to the last time this location was had somebody go out and actually do an inspection. Okay? And then, and how many times they've been inspected? How many times have they passed inspections? How many times have they failed inspections? I would have pulled all those dates together, and I would have pulled in all that information. Then I would have probably reached out to the basically Secretary of State and checked their LLCs. Then I would have probably said, I'm going to try calling these facilities, leaving a message, and see if they're interested in, there's been an accusation, and see if they're interested in responding to any of my phone calls. Then I probably would have went out or sent somebody out and said, hey, I'll pay you $100. Would you be willing to sit there from 3 hours, from the hours of 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and let me know if any cars come in? Don't take plate numbers. I just count how many cars come in and if kids are going into these facilities. Do you see the difference between me and Nick? Do you see the importance? Because now I would have went there, and then I might have went there if I would have drove there. I would have went to there and said, hey, I've sent somebody out here. I've checked this information. I've seen these inspections. I've left phone calls. I've done this. And if the guy called me up and he's like, well, I sat there on a Tuesday between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock and nobody showed up, I would have been like, well, can I pay you to do it again for another day? And I would have had him do it 3 days in a row. Not in a row, but 3 days before I considered it. Okay? Now I've got 3 sources. This is when we used to source information. When reporters had to actually source information, this was a part of sourcing that information. So if you're going to ask me how I would have did it and said I would have did the same thing, absolutely not. Matter of fact, I prove that because when this story first, other people have told me, oh, you got to run with the story. You got to run with the story. It's coming out. Hurry, get on it quick. I don't get on it quick. I don't cover things right away because I want to see both. I want to look into it myself. Like, I'm not going to be first. I want to be right. Okay, as best as I can, obviously. So when Nick came out, I'm not arguing that there's not fraud. I'm arguing that what people are believing Nick did, and I'm going to play this video, was not journalism. It was sensationalism for views. And it's not the same thing. Hang on, let me play this.
But the summary is they've replaced key leaders and people have gone to jail, and there's still more to do. Of course, there's more to do, but this is not the solution. And what Republicans have done now is because of these made-up lies by a random YouTuber, they are now freezing.
Oh, shoot. God damn it. Go back. I didn't know it was going to go on that one. Sorry.
Hello, I am back in the studio. We are back. We're back. Dude.
Oh, God, for the love of God. Why'd you do that? Truck driver.
And if you haven't,
okay.
Tim Walz and the Justice Department have already been investigating this, but here's just a bit of what this gentleman was doing.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
Here it is.
People have gone to jail, and there's still more to do. Of course, there's more to do, but this is not the solution. And what Republicans have done now is because of these made-up lies by a random YouTuber, they are now freezing child care funds to everyone in Minnesota. Now,
I'm not okay with that. Because of what a YouTuber did with no investigation, with no evidence, with no proof, with nothing, everyone suffers.
As Governor Walz said there, and I'm going to take you through this in just a minute, there has been multiple times where this current administration and Donald Trump specifically have stopped people who have committed fraud from getting justice. First, this man, Nick Shirley, he's not a bright kid. This is not a bright individual. I watched this and I was like, wow, this man is not smart. CNN confronted him in Minnesota and they asked him if he went to these child daycare centers that he alleged were committing fraud during normal business hours, and here's what he said.
Did you come during our normal operating hours when you came to visit?
I came at 11
Now what we asked if you came at regular business hours.
a.m., I believe, and I also came the following day, later in the day. The point of it is not whether or not I came at the right time of their operation hours. The point is that blacked out doors, they can't give you any information. You call that number, no one answers. I wasn't trying to go inside, and there should be a way for somebody to actually be able to call that number and somebody to be able to answer. These aren't real businesses.
But surely you don't think a daycare should just be unlocked. You shouldn't be able to just walk into a
There
daycare.
should be a reception.
Again, no, you can't walk in one because of school unaliving events. They make it where, no, you can't just go in.
No, every daycare is locked.
Their doors are locked.
And so, okay, you bring up a fair point.
Fair point, I guess. That's a fair point. I didn't know that. I didn't do my research to know why the doors were locked.
But why can't they actually give me information how to enroll a...
Did you come?
It's like, well, no, there should be a reception area. We should be able to see inside the daycare. Why can't we see inside the daycare? Why won't they let a random man come in to see the kids? It's absurd. It is absolutely absurd. And now, as I said, it's been proven that this man is just a lying fraud. And here's just one report.
This is ABC Learning Center in Minneapolis.
ABC numbers.
Director Ahmed Hassan gave WCCO a tour after finding his daycare in the national spotlight.
All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center.
In a now viral video, right-wing YouTuber Nick Shirley claims nearly a dozen daycare centers in Minnesota are taking public funds but not providing a service. He says ABC Learning Center is one of them, knocking on the door in mid-December.
I would like to check a child in the daycare.
Hassan says his employee didn't respond because Shirley was in a group of about 8 people, and his staff were concerned about recent ICE activity. Is this daycare committing fraud?
No, we're not committing fraud.
Hassan showed us security footage from the same day Shirley was here. According to the timestamps in the videos, this woman takes a young child into the center at around 9 a.m. that day, about 3 hours before Shirley arrives at the door closer to the street. Within the hour after Shirley leaves, a woman arrives at the other...
Two different cars. This is not the same car. That other one was black. This car is silver. So no, they don't look alike.
...other door with a stroller. A larger family heads inside a few hours later.
Now, this car does look alike, but this person could be the person who has a car, who's driving around picking up other neighbors and family members and bringing their kids into the daycare, right? I mean, that's possible. Called ride sharing. I don't know if you heard of it.
Tuesday afternoon, WCCO found at least a dozen children at ABC Learning Center, which is licensed with the state. Records show Minnesota officials last visited the daycare in November.
So the daycare center he went to that said is committing fraud had children going in that day, is registered with the state, and at the time this local news outlet went there, had children there as well. Where's the fraud? Where's the fraud? I will tell you where the fraud is. It is with Donald Trump. Meet Michelle.
Now, I want to make sure you guys understand that because of the fraud, Donald Trump is shutting down everything. All right? I just want to make sure you understand this. And that's fine. Okay, it's not fine. But I want you to realize how important fraud is to Donald Trump. Okay?
Fiore, a former GOP in Nevada who raised funds to create a memorial to honor fallen police officers. Instead, she spent the money on cosmetic surgery and other personal items. She was convicted in 2024, and Trump pardoned her before her sentence. She's not Somalian. She is a fraudster, and Donald Trump pardoned her. Do you see where this is going?
She got pardoned by Donald Trump for fraud.
Be going.
Oh, here it is right here. Here it is right here. Let me show you this real quick. Smart link. NEMT, non-emergency medical transport services provided, cannot bill the NHCP directly for mode 3 unless transport curb to curb mode forward assistance. How do you do it? SmartLink. SmartLink is one of the ways that you can bill for the medical vehicles. So they are looking at who is doing this. People are actually checking into this. This SmartLink is a tracking device that's in the car that will see if you went to the pickup, if you went to the delivery, if the person got dropped off. They are looking at this stuff. They're looking at this. SmartLink. You can just Google a video for SmartLink with non-emergency. I think I did one. I'll even find the video while you guys look at this. Hang on. Here we go.
Do you see where this is going to be going? Meet the Shirleys. They were pardoned after convicted of 12 counts of bank fraud and tax evasion. They don't have to pay back the $17.8 million in restitution or serve 12 years in sentence. They are fraudsters. They are not Somalis. Meet Philip S. Formas. Trump commuted the sentence of a convicted healthcare fraudster who was serving 20 years for a $1.3 billion Medicare fraud scheme, one of the largest in U.S. history. That person has since been arrested again on new criminal charges. Will Trump pardon him? He's a fraudster. He's not Somali. Say hello to Trevor Milton.
Oh, hang on. I did download this video. This was on, it's a minute long. Recording, yeah.
How many felony accounts of fraud does Donald Trump have? Wasn't it like 34 fraud?
34, 34. But that allegedly, after the jury convicted it, the jury could have been wrong.
Scott from SmartRide. Listen, I'm so excited. We are launching 2 programs that are huge.
It was a Democrat jury.
Democrat jury, yeah.
Communications and our ability to manage our call volume, as well as provide up-to-date, accurate, and real-time information. So we are adding in our SmartLink program, which is the ability for our skilled facilities and hospitals to be able to log into our shared network, to be able to review information, to speak with our communication staff in real time, and be able to get updates as necessary. It also connects our partner facilities and transport partners with our Bambi Health network. So the Bambi Health program will be able to go in and with a 48-hour window can schedule transportation requests, can look at real-time information regarding what's occurring with their transport status for their passengers. We can share information with the facilities, with family, with loved ones, with caregivers in real-time scenarios. They'll even be able to go in and look at the status of our transport and see where their loved ones are. These are huge game changers for the NEMT industry. I think it's going to bring a real value to the people that we provide service for, and I'm super excited to get it rolled out. I hope that.
Not bad. I mean, somebody's obviously looking at it, because then remember, just like I showed you, for you to be paid, you have to have one of the SmartLink systems. You have to be paid. That's how you're paid. So somebody's looking at something, right? But hey, whatever. Who cares?
He doesn't look Somali to me.
Yeah,
well, he donated $1.8 million to Trump and hired Pam Bondi's brother as his pardon attorney. He defrauded hundreds of millions of people, and he walked away free. Is Donald Trump the one allowing fraud to go unchecked?
Brett Favre. Did you know Brett Favre ganked some money? He stole $77 million.
And look at this. Brett Favre. he was involved in stealing $17 million.
No, $77 million, bro.
Of money to build a volleyball stadium in GOP.
$77 million. He made a mistake there.
Ruled Mississippi, not Somali. He was, however, forced to pay back $1.1 million. Would you
stole $77 million, paid back $1.1?
take that deal? You get $77 million. All you got to do is pay $1.1 million back. I take that deal. Now, Eric Trump said people better start going to jail in Minnesota. Well, you need to shut the fuck up, bitch, because you and your family actually committed fraud against St. Jude's Children's Hospital. In 2017, it was discovered that you and your family took donations that were meant for children's cancer, and that led to you having to give $2 million back. Still, you remain in power. But the only ones who've committed fraud in this situation is you and your goddamn disgusting family. Trump also pardoned Paul Walzak after his mother attended a $1 million dinner. $47 million fraud case was dropped by Trump after Weidenhorn made huge donations to his campaign and inaugural fund.
Stole $47 million, paid $1 million to Trump. Pardon.
Donald Trump had to pay $25 million because he fraudulently created a university. The only
yeah, he had to pay $25 million. He fraudulently created a university. Okay. And people are like, well, that's whataboutism. I understand that. But like I said in this conversation, that if you're worried about fraud and you're concerned about fraud and Donald Trump's concerned about fraud, he's pardoning. Most of the people he gives pardons to are fraudsters. And when people say that he's doing research, I'm saying that Nick Shirley's video is propaganda. And if you believe it, you fell for it. It's sensationalism and propaganda based on no research at all. Just me saying, just like the one caller said. The guy said he drives by these places all the time and never sees kids. Drives by means he's just driving by. He's continuous to move. I drive by every time I go shopping. I drive by a daycare on the way to my food shopping. Okay? I never see kids. Should I assume there's fraud? Should I assume there's fraud? Because I don't see the kids? Because I'm driving by. Here's the problem I have too. A lot of you are filling in gaps that this guy didn't say. When you're interviewing somebody, you don't fill in the gaps. You listen to what they're saying. Like, I drive by. Okay, stop. Just like when I listen to you, maybe that's the problem people have maybe that's the problem. When I listen to people talk and when they call into the show and I listen to people talk, I literally, here's my guy calling. Is that the same guy? I'll turn the phone on for the 252 because that's the guy that called earlier. When I listen to people talk, I don't put words in your mouth. I don't fill in blanks that weren't there. I don't read between the lines. I'm listening to what you're saying. So when you say, I drive by these facilities and I don't see kids, well, driving by does not mean you're sitting out in front waiting for hours or filling this in or anything. You're driving by and you don't see kids. You're driving by. That might take 10 seconds of your time. Like I can drive by a facility and in 10 seconds, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi. That was 10 seconds. That's a long time. That's why it's difficult for people to process time. Because they think, oh my God, we must have been doing it for 30 seconds. Thank you for calling Sage Outcast. How may I direct your call?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I accepted. I pressed 1. How may I accept? How may I help you?
How you doing, Lispy? Happy Kwanzaa. Yeah, I'm totally convinced now after watching that little short that you put up there with that little weird, guy with the funny face and the misshapen head that just says there's no fraud here. I'm totally convinced after watching that.
Convinced of what did I say?
You're trying to convince us there's kids in these buildings, bro. You're out of your freaking mind.
But there's videos of kids.
So hard in your life.
There's videos of kids in the building.
Oh, sure there are. That's why you're trying to tell us that the windows are tinted.
No, stop. One at a time. One at a time. Okay. That's goldfish. There are videos of kids going into the building. You see how when I say that, he immediately moves to something else? There are videos of kids going into the building.
Sage, my wife is a high school teacher.
Yeah.
She has not been at school for the past 2 weeks. And I have not seen kids at that school for the past 2 weeks either.
You know what?
Maybe I need to do some
You
investigative
need to do some
reporting, too.
investigation into that school. That's a good possibility. There's fraud at that school.
Fraud.
Or the holidays. One or the other. It's got to be one or the other. Or both. Hi, thank you for calling the Sage Outcast. We are an investigative reporter into schools that don't have kids during the holidays. How can I help you?
Hey, that's not fair.
Not fair? That's not fair.
I like it. Sir, you do know for the record he did that on December 16th before the school break, right? Like that whole video that was produced.
No, I didn't know what day
before
did.
that.
No, I didn't know what day did, but I'll give you. I'll say he did. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you just missed the fact that the guy, one of my producers, he just made a joke that said his wife is a teacher, and
Yeah.
she's off for the break now, and maybe he should go do an investigative report on why there's no kids in the schools now. That had nothing to do with him.
I mean,
okay, go ahead.
That's kind of a straw man argument. I get the joke.
It's not an argument. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I think that it's not as cut and dry and as crazy as you're making it sound.
Yep.
I will say everything you're doing is what a court would do to Nick Shirley if Nick Shirley were ever, deposed. But Nick Shirley's not being deposed, right?
No,
he was
I'm not.
making a video. Like you said, you were right when you said it. He's making a video for views.
Yes.
And he's being sensationalist about it.
Right, and now people are being hurt because of it.
That doesn't discredit what he is saying.
Yes, it. Wait. What? Wait. What? Yes, it does.
In what way?
Because they have videos of kids going into the facilities that Nick said there were no kids.
No. So he went to 17, I think.
Hang on. Let's just deal with the one. Let's deal with one right now. Okay, just the one right now.
But that's not.
I want to know if did I discredit Nick? Did I discredit him on that facility? Yes or no?
On that facility, I mean, the argument's there that there's evidence.
Yes or no? Yes or no? If I ask you for a yes or no, and you continue to go, you're not answering a yes or no. The evidence there was no kids. There, I want to ask this to you guys, and do me a favor, just in the chat. If Nick says that this facility right here has no kids, and we see videos that there were kids going into that facility before Nick arrived and kids coming in after Nick left, did I at least discredit him on that facility? Yes or no? It should be a real easy answer, to be honest. Just a real easy answer. The answer is yes. I discredited him on that statement that he made. Yes. Now, if Nick says that there's fraud here because there's no kids, and I can say, show me, I don't have to discredit him that there's no fraud. It's his job to prove that there's fraud. Show me where the fraud is. Well, you've got this money, but there's no kids in there. During Nick's video, one guy says, I'll pull up his video. One guy said, he's asked, is there any kids in there? And he's like, yeah. How many? I don't know. And the guy says, well, you're no use to me. The guy discredited him on his own video. Somebody was dropping off a child. I don't know if you guys saw this or not.
Bert, Colorado.
Hey, how's it going, Bert? Go ahead and say, I'm going to look up the video. Go ahead and say what you got.
Yeah, I was trying to, I know, you were making a point. I was just saying when I did work before COVID, it was called call and ride. You call up us, we would grab your child from your home and then take it to your school. And there was 4 or 5 kids on that school bus.
Correct.
Okay. Now, times that by 30. Who's going to pay for that? It has to be the state. It sounds like the same thing they're doing in Minnesota. Okay. These tiny little daycare centers can't pay for that, so the state has to pay for that. So you're right. He didn't even investigate that. So times that 30 buses times 4, because we have 4 basically businesses in Denver that does that every single day. They pick up the kids, they drop them off, and then they take them back home. You know, you're talking mileage, you're talking the buses. Who's paying for that? Because these little daycare centers can't do that. So it has to go back to the state of Minnesota, or in our case, the state of Colorado for Denver, to have these kids be picked up and dropped off, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
So, and then the other point I was making, so when I picked up my grandson from my school, you have to sign them in and you have to sign them out.
Yep, 100%.
The kids that you're trying to pick them up and, you know, drop them off. And you have to be on that list, such and such and such. Like last year, I couldn't pick up my grandson because I wasn't on the list. This year I was on the list to pick up my grandson. That was my only point I was trying to make.
No problem, brother. Hey, I'm going to move on with you. I don't mean to hang up on you, but I'm going to move on because I want to make this.
I know.
All right, thank you. All right. All right, real quick right here. This is where he literally says it here.
They seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Do you work here? I was.
Where are the kids?
Yeah.
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids?
Max amount is 74.
Kids. They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website.
Okay.
You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there. What's up?
Yeah, kids there. Yes.
Any?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You worked here. Okay, well then you're not of any help.
Can I put?
Yeah, there were kids there. How many? I don't know how many kids. He might have just what did he do there? Was he a janitor? Like what did he do there? Was there kids there? Yeah, there were kids there.
Put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No. Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son.
This lady here is dropping off a kid. Like you see her kid come out of the car. I gotta find it where he's basically you see a kid coming out of the car in one of these shots. I don't know if I can find it. Like legitimately, I don't get it. Like one of these videos, is it here? Hang on. Just like he says that, look at the flag, the Somalian flag. The Minnesota changed it to the Somalian flag. They look exactly alike, right here.
He changed it, and it very much so resembles the flag of.
It very much so remembers the flag. Does those flags look like they look alike? One's a solid blue. The other one is two different shades of blue. Not even close
I'm sorry,
to the... What?
You can't even safety squint and see the resemblance there.
Not even the same star. Okay. I'm trying to find where she dropped off a kid. You could see that she was dropping off a kid, and he was probably 12. And daycare goes to 13, just so you know. The money goes to up to 13 years old. I thought it was this lady here was getting out of the car. Let me see.
Year 2025 in tax money, and there are
daycare here. And now where are we going?
Now we're going to Sweet Angel Child Care.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
Hey, that strip mall's not plowed. All those businesses must be fraud.
Good.
In fiscal year 2025,
all those businesses must be fraud. They're not plowed. The whole strip mall is fraud. Unplowed. Just saying. Did I say that out loud? Was that out loud? All right, hang on. Let me go back here. Here's what I was talking about the third waves. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this for you guys. I'll take one more call. I'll take callers, too. Might as well. Again, my statement is not that there's no fraud. That's not my statement. There is fraud. It's been looked into. It's being investigated. It's continuing being investigated. My statement is Nick Shirley's video is not journalism. It's sensationalism for views, and he uses emotions to strike your feelings so that you forget about facts. And I'm presenting you facts, which should be how we determine, hey, and here's the problem. There are a bunch of people that are getting this money. There are white people, black people that are getting this money that help pay for the child support of their kids so that they can go to school, so they can go to a job. Now, the white people and the black people that are legitimately getting this money, now they also have to suffer and not get the money because of the lies that were in this video. What's going on here? Anything important? No. The lies that were in Nick's video. Straight up lies that were in his video. I don't know why. All right, I want to see all the people that were interviewed. So one person said yes, they were kids. So that person said yes, they were kids. Goldfish called in and said there were no kids, even though there's a video of them saying yes, there are kids. They go to this autism clinic, and the autism guy says, here's the autism guy. He says, how many kids are there? Hang on.
How many kids do you guys have at this autism center?
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than 5?
Probably.
More than 5? So there's kids there, but there's no kids there. But there's kids there. Okay.
And it's a special needs area, so they have a different ratio than other daycares.
Right. So they're going to have a way smaller ratio as with autism type stuff. Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. It's going to be more like with babies and stuff like that. Each state has it set up for what the amount of teacher to student ratio they can have. So it's going to be way less for special needs kids than it is for normal kids.
And I just can't believe the people, like here's another example of a lie. I love this one. This one was the best because he's basing it on the fact that you can't read. You're not smart enough to actually read. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Ready?
Exact same services.
Yeah.
Right here, you have a list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them, right?
All of the healthcare company. Loads of them. Loads of them.
All of the healthcare companies.
Loads of them. African Immigration Services, not healthcare. Dollar General, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not a daycare. Although people might drop their kids off at Dollar General thinking it's a daycare. It's not. First Day Care Center might be. New York Trading, not a healthcare. Unless, just so you know. Law Company, not a healthcare. Hi, thank you for the Sage Outcast. We make sure that you know how to read signs properly. How can I help you?
All you're doing is showing us videos of guys with misshapen
This
heads
is Goldfish.
No fraud.
Where's
you
the...
have not showed us a single video of these kids. So prove it.
Okay,
Prove it.
did you...
Do it.
Are you going to keep talking or no?
Go for it.
I want you to go look up the Minnesota CBS affiliate.
Dude, they're bringing their little teratots into the facility for like a couple hours and then bringing them out.
Do you know how a daycare works?
It's such
do you know how a daycare works?
Somali is not a real country.
Do you know how a daycare works? Do you know how a daycare works?
Literally just a gang.
Do you know how a daycare...
warlords.
Listen, you're
Somalia.
racist, bro. You're too racist for me. Stop calling me. Stop calling for me. Stop calling. Stop calling. He's that guy. He's just too racist. I can't. I'm gonna have to block you, Goldfish, because you're just way too racist for me, bro. I asked you a question and you don't respond to the question. Like I asked you a question. Do you know how a daycare works? A daycare, you might drop your child off at 2:00 from school, and you might pick them up at 5:00 when you're done with work. Does that make sense? It's only sometimes you only drop your kid off for a couple hours at a daycare, stupid fuck. Why are you this dumb? Why are you this dumb? You're not even, Goldfish, you're not even smart enough to call into the show. You're not even smart enough to call into the show. And misshaped heads, like, hello, racism. Stop calling my show, bro. I'm gonna get a restraining order, and I'm gonna say that you're so dumb that they should find that you're literally fraud, Goldfish. You're a fraud. There's no way any money paid to you is not fraud because you're as dumb as a brick. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's read these signs. Hash Consulting, not a home care center. Helping Hands Home Care, that's one. Senior Center, well, might not be a health care because that's not home care. That's the senior center. Health Services, I don't know what that one is. Home Health Care, there's one. Something Express, I'm thinking that's not a healthcare. Logistics and Supplies, not a healthcare. Midwest Quality Home Care, that's a home care. Present Help, maybe a home care. Coffee Company, not a home care. Distributions, not a home care. Safari Services, don't know. Something community. So let's go on. Let's count all the healthcare services that we can definitely tell are healthcare services. 1, 2, 3. There's 3. 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 crossed out. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 3 out of 20. Oh, no. Got the electrician calling me.
Electric. To accept, press 1. To send a...
Hi, are you here to jumpstart my tractor so I can plow my driveway? Oh, shoot. So 3 out of 20, and he says, look at all the healthcare. You're not even... You guys watching this video aren't even smart enough to see that he's pointing at this board and says, look at all the home healthcare companies. And there's only 3 out of 20. Yeah, you should report him for insulating violence. I'm insulating violence. Please do. Please get me kicked off the internet. Because I'll be honest with you. This is... Oh, we're going to play this. Here it is. Here it is. We're going to play this on our way out.
Moment 0. A significant event occurred.
I forgot to turn the phone off. So since I forgot to turn the phone off, I'll take it. I'll take it since I forgot to turn the phone off.
It's Monty again.
Oh, God. For the love of God. Hi, how can I help you? Yeah, what's going on, bro?
I'm not gonna be like Goldfish, I promise.
All right.
But you do know before he entered that building, he said there was 22 home health businesses registered at that one address.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know the exact number, but I know he said a large number. Yes.
Yeah, it was 22, and
but there's
3 of the 20 that you pointed out were home health agencies, and then another 3 where you're like, oh, logistics and materials. Yeah, that was a healthcare agency that dealt with materials like, CPAP, BiPAP machines. That's what a business like that would deal with. So that is a healthcare agency. It deals with healthcare.
No. No. Stop.
Yeah,
That is
absolutely.
That's not a home healthcare. Okay, I don't think you understand how businesses are categorized. If I'm looking for home healthcare, I'm not calling a logistics and supply company.
So you'd never call maybe to get your CPAP machine? Like that wouldn't be a thing that you would need, or a wheelchair or a cane or a walker?
Yes.
Your wound vac, my wife's wound vac that she got from a healthcare agency, but it was a logistics and supply company.
That's a distribution. That's a distributor, not a healthcare.
Absolutely.
That's not. Do you understand?
But it's still in the healthcare industry.
Yeah, but okay. Have you ever been to a business park? Like
Absolutely.
I go to my dentist. I go to my doctor's office.
I know. Please don't be condescending.
Well, I go to my doctor's office. I go to my doctor's office, right? And my doctor has multiple doctors in that doctor office and dentists. It's all in one complex.
Yes.
So you can go there and get all of your healthcare needs taken care of at that complex. So is Dollar General because they sell aspirin? Is that a healthcare business?
Obviously not, but
Okay.
you're mincing my words. I did not. So somebody that exclusively deals with healthcare product distribution would be a healthcare business. would it
Okay,
not?
yeah, but let me see what he says before he says this. Hang on, let's see what he exactly says.
There's 22.
Where we're
businesses
going
in
now is a building that has 14 Somali-owned home healthcare companies.
14 home healthcare businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not home healthcare businesses per se.
Building.
14 of the same healthcare companies in the one
14 of the same healthcare. Are those 14 of the same healthcare?
building.
14 home healthcare companies with different names in the same building.
How bad has Tim?
Yeah, that's.
The
and they're all registered. You can look up the research he did.
Okay, so a logistics and supply company
be a little bit more genuine in what you're saying, because that paperwork is there to be looked up at.
A logistics and supply facility is not a home health care business.
No, that was me. That was me splitting hairs on the argument you were making about that one.
Okay, so
in your shot.
Dollar General is not a home health care business.
And I'm not. You're making a straw man argument. That's
No, I'm
not
not making
saying.
a straw man. I'm going over these one
I'm
by
getting
one
into
with you. It's not a strong man if I'm literally going over them one by one with you.
All of...
Okay. Immigration Community Services. Immigrant Community Services, not a home health care business. Dollar General, not a home health care business. First Daycare, not a home health care business. That's a daycare. GH New York Trading, is that a home health care business? Probably not. Law Office, is that a home health care business? Probably not. I have no idea what Hashan Consulting is, but if that's probably not a home health care business. Helping Hands Home Health Care, probably a home health care business. Something Senior Center, probably not a home health care business.
Hey, Sage.
I gotta go.
You beat the.
I gotta go. Because you're not paying attention. Hub Health Services, maybe a home health care service. Isaac Home Health Care, home health care services. I get that one. Kaha Express, probably not a home health care business. Logistics and Supplies, probably not a home health care business. Midwest Quality Home Care, probably home care. Present Help, no idea, but I'll give it to you. Coffee, whatever this name is, coffee company, probably not a home healthcare business. Our HR distributors, probably not a home healthcare business. Safari Services, I got nothing. Something Community, I don't know. Somalian Community of MN, probably Minnesota, probably not a home healthcare business. And I'm the misleading one. I gotta go.
Hello, Sage. This is Cody. Or how? Wait a minute. Is my name Cody or Colby? I'm not really sure. So I will, there in fact, internally. Hang on a second. God damn it. I'm trying to. Wait a minute. I think your name might be Sully. I don't fucking know what your goddamn real name is.
No one does.
Alright, give me a call back. Wait a minute.
Probably a Pepsi.
Sage.
What?
I'm sorry. Please don't record this.
I won't. I'll never record this. Continue on.